Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today's film is The Busher, which is a silent baseball film from 1919. This film stars Charles Ray. It's not Ray Charles, it's Charles Ray, and also has silent film star John Gilbert as well. It's about a guy from the Bush Leagues. A busher is a baseball player from the Bush Leagues, and he is playing in a small town. He loves this girl, played by Colleen Moore, and who is also trying to be wooed away from him by John Gilbert. Now, Charles Ray plays Ben Harding, who's just a good Bush League player, until a train stops down in his hometown of Brownsville, and it's a team of baseball players, and then he walks by and they throw a ball at him. They realize he can play. They have a game together, and they're like, hey, you should come to our team. And then of course he does, and like most melodramatic silent films, at the beginning Charles Ray and Colleen Moore are in love, and then he goes off, becomes a famous baseball player, then he gets kicked off and he forgets about his hometown even though they're cheering him on. He doesn't even care about the old girl. He wants this new girl. He's all corrupted by the big city, and then he doesn't even play that well the one time he pitches, which I think is a little unfair. I don't think baseball is that tough. And then after months he comes back to Brownsville. He had to like sneak onto a train to get there, and he's like a total bum, and he's broke and so poor, and then he has to like beg for a job at a crappy farm. But then Brownsville's Bush League team is playing a big game, and when he came back to town, Colleen Moore was with John Gilbert now, with the rich guy, and he's like, oh man, now I'm not a baseball player, I'm poor, and she's gone. I thought Charles Ray could really play off the tragedy parts of the story. Charles Ray, at the height of his popularity, his performance in this is really earnest, like a small town boy, very shy. I think he's quite introverted. It's really kind of an interesting performance. Charles Ray brings something to it that in his performance and in his close-ups, like he's one of the best close-up actors I've seen. He's really good at really subtle gestures to get his point across, and I think he's quite a good actor. It does get a little drawn out and melodramatic and silly. It's just kind of unbelievable, but Charles Ray like brings that believability to this story. And maybe this story doesn't deserve the believability that Charles Ray is bringing in this performance because it's so earnest and real. The tragedy part of it was the part that always stuck out to me of this whole film, is how well he played that. When Brownsville's team is losing, John Gilbert comes up with a genius idea. He's like, wait, Ben Harding's still in town. Why don't I get him to play, because I have a lot of money on this game? And then he convinces them and he plays, and he's amazing. That's some really great pitching, or at least silent film pitching. And Charles Ray, when he pitches, he almost looks like a cowboy or something. Like, he doesn't look like I think of a pitcher today. I feel like he almost shot a gun or something. He throws it with such urgency in this film. He'd throw the ball and then he'd have this stance like he had just done a shootout. This is one of the first feature-length films about baseball. I actually kind of would put it kind of high on my list of baseball movies, but I kind of have a fondness for it. There's not even really a structure, like a 3-act structure yet. You can't really fault these films for that. Let's have this couple and we need a happy ending so everyone's good. Artistically, it would make more sense for him to just be a farmer and accept life that he's never going to be a baseball player. But I like that there's a happy ending. The happy ending is really comforting. I like the title because he's like, that's Ben Harding, the character Charles Ray plays. He's the busher. He's a Bush League player. He played on the Bush League. That's how he started. That's how he got good. And then he plays in the majors and he can't do it, so he's still a busher then. And then at the end, they get him, they bring him back to the Bush Leagues, and he does an amazing performance because he's the busher. He is that slang term, you know. But then in the end, I guess he exceeds that, supposedly. I mean, they never made a sequel, to my knowledge at least. So I really like him in this movie. I wish he had gotten to do more as an actor. Oh well. Alright, so if you've seen The Busher and you would like to talk about it, then comment below, down there in the comments, and subscribe if you would like to. So Charles Ray actually died of a tooth infection, so go to the dentist, brush and floss. Seriously. Killed Charles Ray. I don't know.